I think we are good to start. Okay, I'm the host and we can get started. Okay, sorry, I was sick for last week, entire week, not able to join, but now feeling better. So we can cover few of the things जो हमने last time जहाँ पे थे वहां से चालू करते हैं, and then we'll add top on that. So till the end of the year, I have some time. So probably towards the end of the week, last week जो है, वहाँ पे हम we can have a daily session just to wrap up and कुछ issues है या फिर कुछ queries है and whatever the remaining things are there to complete, we can complete and finish that one. Okay. Still, am I audible clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So last time हमने क्या देखा था? I'm sharing my screen and let me know once you are able to see the screen. Okay. So I hope you are able to see my screen. तो हमने Git repository देखा था, correct? And I hope everybody has created their own Git repository, added some code to it, did some Git check-in, check-out, modified the code, used the utilities, right? Does everybody able to complete this one?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Abhi, why I'm taking this? Because we are conducting a project and project का basic setup है. So once we complete the basic setup, on top of that, we'll continue adding the features to our project. So लास्ट टाइम हमने देखा था कि हमने फोल्डर्स बनाए. वी हैड द गिट इग्नोर फाइल क्या करता है? जो भी अनवांटेड फाइल्स रहती है लोकल पे, इट prevent those files to check in into the git remote repository. जैसे कि some files are .manifest file or wheel file or leaves which you don't want to put it into the or PyCharms file, something which you don't want to push it to the gate. That's what it does. And We also saw there is a readme file which is nothing but आपका project क्या है वो आप as a document file which you put it into this file. And we have a license file. These are the different. This is the open license, GNU license, just to add for our things. We created a utils folder, and utils folders we created the AWS utility, which we created a class here in AWS utility. What it does, it is make the connection to AWS, which accepts the uh, AWS secret key and access key, and connects to the AWS. Then we also have a vault utility which enables us using the role ID and secret ID pass karte or secret pass, so which fetch the vault credentials and return those vault credentials. We use those vault credentials in AWS utility to connect to it, or we use the vault credentials to connect to the Snowflake. And what this Snowflake utility does, it makes the connection to the Snowflake, it executes the query, whatever query it is passed, and it runs. Okay, now हमने we created all these things. अब क्या होता है? So there is, suppose आपके पास कोड रिपोजिटरी है और आपको कोड understand करना, and this is my job runner main program which is running and executing the job. First what it does, it's making the connection to the vault using the role ID and secret ID. After making the connection, it getting a token. Once that token is get, you're using that token to get a secret from the vault. Once you get a secret, you're using that secret to connect to the AWS to fetch the access key and secret key. Once you fetch the access key and secret key, you are using AWS connector utility, passing the AWS access key and secret key, and using that you are making a connection. Now here I'm using IAM client. We are just listing the groups, IAM groups. Give me a minute. Sorry. So we are listing the groups from IAM after connecting to the AWS and displaying that. And this is our main class. It is being called because this is our main program. Abhi kya hoga? Now, this is the code and you want to understand. Does anybody know about UML? UML diagram? Anybody know? आपने प्रोजेक्ट किया होगा इंजीनियरिंग में, राइट? तो प्रोजेक्ट रिपोर्ट बनाया होगा, तो प्रोजेक्ट रिपोर्ट में फ्लो चार्ट रहेगा. व्हाट इज द फ्लो चार्ट? वेयर बेसिक स्केलेटन ऑफ योर कोड एग्जीक्यूशन बनाते हैं आप लोग, राइट? फ्लो चार्ट में बिफोर दैट बिजनेस प्रोसेस डायग्राम रहेगा, प्रोसेस डायग्राम मतलब क्या कि हाँ मेरा वेब पेज है, यूजर लॉगिन करेगा, अगर लॉगिन सक्सेसफुल है, अगर पासवर्ड एंड यूजर नेम सक्सेस करेक्ट है, देन ही विल बी लॉग इन। सो यू हर प्रोसेस डायग्राम बनाते हैं। प्रोसेस डायग्राम के बाद आप फ्लो चार्ट बनाते हैं कि आपका कोड कैसे एग्जीक्यूट होगा। एंड once the process diagram is created, you create a UML. Uh, Basically, it's a model diagram, unified model language, है, and then you create a diagram indicating how your software and system behaves. That's the UML. It is correct. आपको कुछ याद आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember anything? Yes, no. Do you remember?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just a minute. Sharing has stopped. You able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll turn on the video so that you can see me and have interaction. Just give me a minute. Okay. So let me know once you're able to see. Uh, I have turned on the video in case just to have a face-to-face interaction. तो you create a UML. तो UML diagram क्या होता है जहाँ पे आप you have the visualization of your code. What are my classes? What are my packages? What are my uh, variables and other thing. So in Python, there is a package which creates the UML diagram for you. तो इसका बेनिफिट क्या है अगर किसी ने ऑलरेडी कोड डिफाइन है और आपको अंडरस्टैंड करना है कि ये कोड क्या है कौन से क्लासेस है कौन से पैकेजेस है आपको ये कोड अंडरस्टैंड करना है तो उसके लिए देर आर सर्टन पैकेजेस दैट नीड्स टू बी अवेलेबल एंड यूज so in Python, there is a package called fileint. Okay. So ये by default install होता है जब आप Python install करते हैं there is a package called fileint. Okay. This is the package name fileint. And within this package, there is a sub package called pyreverse. pyreverse नाम का एक पैकेज है so whenever you install the if you don't have a pylint just install that so what's the procedure so I'll just write it here so that so what the first step you need to check does anybody know about pylint
No, sir.
if not there install that pylint. Once you install the pylint, there is a package called pyreverse. So just start type pyreverse and that package will be available. And it is once you install it, whether you use a bash or PowerShell, doesn't matter. Uh, you should able to call it. Now, tell me when you install Python, how do you install the Python? Did you download the executable and use it, or you use the Microsoft app to install the Python? आपने कैसे किया था? So what I mean to say, जब आपने Python install किया, यहाँ पे apps है, Microsoft apps है, right? Did you install through App Store or you downloaded the exe and install it? आपने कैसे install
Sir,
किया?
download the exe from net.
Downloaded it.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So when you install the exe from when you install the exe, there is the option while you install add Python variable into environment variables, system variable or environment variable. अगर नहीं है तो just add it. जैसे कि मैंने ये system variable बनाया. There is a path system variable. So if you go to the environment variable, there is a path environment variable. And in this path environment variable, I think it's in the system variable. It's like, yeah, I have installed the Python and give the path of the Python home and the script location. अगर script location का path नहीं दिया, तो pyreverse work नहीं करेगा. क्यों? Because if you go to that location, so I'm going to that location, see Python, in this Python 3.12, there you see this is the Python exe, correct? So ये first path देना है and second path script का. So in this scripts, there is already pylint and pyreverse. ये path variable assign किया इसकी वजह से मैं कॉल कर पा रहा हूँ यहाँ पे डायरेक्टली अगर ये नहीं दिया तो you will not able to call it. It will say reverse bash command, py reverse does not exist, something ऐसे error आएगा. Okay, so make sure you have it in the path variables. Okay, that's the first thing. So I'll just mention here. ओके, ये दो चाहिए. ठीक है, मैंने पायलिंट इंस्टॉल कर दिया. अगर नहीं है तो उसके बाद पाथ वेरिएबल जो था, एंड दिस वेरिएबल इज यूजर वेरिएबल, राइट? इज दैट राइट? ओके, this is system variable. You can also create a user variable, but I created a system variable. So it will be available for all the user on the system. ठीक है, ये होने के बाद there is a command called py reverse. So I'll go again bash py reverse. Oh, before that, there is one more thing you need to install it graph viz. So third thing we need to install. Okay, you need to install the graph viz. Now, आप बोलोगे sir, how to install that graph viz? So there is a link. I'll just provide. Okay, so this is the link you will have to use to download and install it. So here, just go and for Windows, use this executable and use this link to install it. Once you install the GraphViz on Windows, you are set and you can use it. So you have to write py reverse minus O. O stand for output, then PNG, the format in which you want the output, and you can just give the package name. Let's say you want to write a code which is, let's say I want to do the analysis of this code job runner dot main. So you can give the path job runner main dot py is the file name. Okay, and just run it. So once you run it, you will see that it creates a file called classes.png. And then it tells me that, yeah, so I have a main class. It has the variables. These are the variables in that main class. This main class contains two methods. One is process underscore AWS and run. These are the two methods into that. How do I know? Just let's check. This is my main program. In this main program, you can see I have two methods. This is main class. In that, I have a run method and I have a process underscore AWS. These are the two methods. Any question? I think someone is on mute. Okay. So now this is the class diagram, and I told you that there is a UML and more detailed information. So let's say I want to get all the details. So I'll say give me for all and all the links. So I type the A minus S, and I want for all the packages, or I want it for utils पैकेज मैं एक कोड के लिए भी यूएमएल बना सकता हूँ और एंटायर पैकेज के लिए भी बना सकता हूँ. So I choose to create it for entire package, which is the util package, and it created the diagram for me. Now when it created, let's see what diagram it created. It created two now, a package diagram and classes diagram. Let's see what is in package diagram. Now you can see that I have a package util. Okay. Then I have a package utils underscore utils dot AWS util, utils dot data checker util. Then I have utils dot snow util, and then bot util. These are the different packages I have under it. Can you see this? On top of that, I have a classes diagram. So you can see that it tells me each of the component. Let me open it from Windows so that I can clearly show you. Okay. So you can see that internally it is calling different packages. So it's calling the AWS connector is the first one, let's say. Okay. Or let me see the starting package. You can see that it's calling a Boto core because you are using Boto 3, which creates an AWS connection along with the AWS connector, and it's creating the client, and it's using the argument, it's creating the session, it's using the different things. These are the indirect things that are being called in this class diagram. Okay. You can also colorize it. So when you go and you want to create a colorful diagram, so just give me a minute. I need to get the reverse. There is colorize. Yeah. So when I say colorize, this diagram will become the colorful diagram now. Can you see this? This diagram become a colorful, and package diagram is also colorized right now. And you can also set the color of this. So these are the help if you need some time, what are the diagram and options you can use. So when I use the hyphen yes, it is using the recursive all associated classes by default. I use the A, so I say give me all ancestor classes. If I just remove the all ancestor, it will just give the only the classes that are there in the code. Okay. And I use the out O stand for output format, or I can write the output. What output I can give different format like HTML and other thing. These are the different output I can give it. I'll show the one of the complex example of UML diagram. Here you can see this best describes this thing. Here is the one package for which it is created a diagram. Let me see any. Just want to show one proper example where it explains different classes that are being used. Okay. Yeah, this is the automatically created diagram from UML. So you can see that there is a patient class which has different variables, and then calculate. These are the methods into it, right? Calculate age, keep, and select. These are the patient related classes and methods into it. You have exam, you have exam report. Exam report can be issued, review, and select the exam report. Exam can be kept or exam can be select. Exam request can cancel, order, issued, select, or view PDF. A doctor can issue an exam report. Doctor can issue a exam request, or teacher is a doctor probably. I don't know what teacher and residence is doing here, but you can see this is the visualization of your code, what is happening. अभी आपका क्लासेस कम है तो यू कैन इजीली आइडेंटिफाई, बट आपका कोड thousands of lines code है, and then you want to modelize your code and see the relationship. So these UML diagrams are very efficient in that case. Okay. So any questions around this creating the UML diagram? I just want to hear at least 5 questions. Okay. I'll take the name and please ask question. Does anybody has a question? Okay, I'll take the name and you need to ask the question. Balaji, good day. Can you ask a question? Any question? At least I want to hear 5 questions. Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So Balaji, are you able to hear me? Hello?
Hello, sir.
Huh. Yeah.
Yes, Dada sir, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Can you just tell us how to install Pylon?
How to install Pylon?
Yes.
It's through pip. Ideally, it should be already there. अगर आपके system में already नहीं है, just do like pip install Pylon, like this pip install. Okay,
Okay, sir.
Pylon. and now on my system it's already there, so वो say it will say it's already available.
Okay, so thank you.
Okay. And Pi reverse will be already there. So if you try to install Pi reverse, it will be already there. It will say it's not there, and because it's now part of the Pi link. Okay, next question. You can ask hundred of questions like इसका यूज कहाँ पे होता है, ये करना जरूरी है, या for what purpose we do. You can ask n number of questions.
So Rishikesh here.
Mm-hmm.
So we use this UML diagram related to Python code in this project or related to whole means I didn't get that part.
Okay, so we use only for Python code. Python code के जो classes है, हम classes बनाते हैं, right? Correct?
Yes, yes.
And within the classes we have different methods. तो मुझे कैसे पता चलेगा कि अरे कौन से प्रोजेक्ट का मतलब कौन से कोड में कौन सा क्लासेस है, ये मेथड कौन से क्लास से इनहेरिट हो रही है, या फिर ये क्लास के कौन से वेरिएबल है, व्हाट इज माय कोड फ्लो। आपको अगर कोड दिया जाए और बोलेगा अरे इसमें डिफेक्ट है ढूंढो, तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आपको कोड फ्लो पता होना चाहिए कि कोड कैसे फ्लो होता है, मतलब पैटर्न क्या है कोड का, स्ट्रक्चर क्या है। सो यू कैन नॉट गो ईच एंड एवरी कोड और अरे हाँ ये मेथड ये कॉल करता है, ये कॉल करने के बाद ये करता है, राइट। यू कैन नॉट डू दैट। सो दैट्स द रीजन वी क्रिएट द यूएमएल। जस्ट लेट टेक वन एग्जांपल। हम गिट पे जाते हैं, लेट्स टेक वन ETL with workflow. Is this a good example? Okay, हम लोग एक प्रैक्टिकल आपको दिखाता हूं मैं कि इसका बेनिफिट यूज कहाँ पे होता है। ओके, लेट मी सर्च फॉर। एक ETL पाइपलाइन लेते हैं एंड okay, maybe this PySpark project example. Okay, our data wrangling with Python. Let me see how much code they have. It's chapter wise, so probably not a good example. Okay, probably this one. तो इसको मैं क्लोन बनाता हूँ. So I copy this and I go here. Okay. और ये प्रोजेक्ट भी मैं ओपन करता हूँ. ओपन फोल्डर and we create open this one. ठीक है. I'll open the terminal just to for our purpose. ये भी कोड है, इसमें सोर्स है. and they have different code into it. Goods rate UDF है, transforms है. They have this class, right? ये transform class है, and they have different methods into it. बट मुझे पता नहीं चल रहा है कि क्या हो रहा है, ये कोड समझने में कोड फ्लो कैसा है. फर्स्ट कौन सा कोड एग्जीक्यूट होगा, उसके बाद क्या एग्जीक्यूट होगा, कौन सा कॉल होगा, ये पता नहीं चल रहा है मुझे. ओके, सो आई व्हाट आई विल डू, आई विल राइट आई रिवर्स. It will do the reverse engineering for me, and I want to do just for, let's say, uh, I just want to check for SRC, just for SRC. सोर्स कोड मॉड्यूल है, इसको मैं स्कैन करता हूँ, एंड देन I wanted it to give me so there are 10 modules being used and 7 imports are associated. So मैं ये पैकेज डायग्राम देखता हूँ, so I can see that पैकेज कैसे कॉल हो रहा है कि there is a source package है, source package के अंदर Goodreads driver है. This calls the source dot Goodreads transform. Goodreads transform जो package है, it is calling Goodreads UDF, which is nothing but user defined functions है. Similarly, ये जो driver program है, Goodreads driver, it is calling S3 module, एक module है, and this is a package diagram, right? You can see that ये package call कर रहा है, ये package call कर रहा है, right? And then there is a warehouse package also. So warehouse, Goodreads warehouse driver call कर रहा है, and then it's calling the staging. So I'm getting the flow of my code. So this is my driver, and these are the subsidiary codes packages. ये तो first हो गया. Now see the classes. So what are the different classes I have? 3 classes I have. One is Goodread S3 module है, warehouse driver program है और transform है. And उसके अंदर I have different methods. ट्रांसफॉर्म में यूजर डेटा सेट है, ऑथर डेटा सेट है, बुक डेटा सेट है, रिव्यू डेटा सेट है. जो मेथड जो है ये ट्रांसफॉर्म कर रहा है. सो इफ एनी टाइम आई वांट टू transform the user data set, I'll find it here, this method. Anything I have to deal with the warehouse, I can get perform absurd staging table or warehouse table, I can get it here. So you can see my code is modularized here in the different categories. I also get a package diagram. I also get the classes diagram. Okay.
Yes.
Any question here?
So these images will be found by PyReverse, or we have to explicitly create this?
Oh, no, it is created by PyReverse.
Okay, okay.
So I write PyReverse minus O, meaning the output, और PNG. तो मुझे PNG फॉर्मेट में बना के दो. कौन से पैकेज के लिए? ये पैकेज के लिए सोर्स पैकेज दिया ना मैंने. Now let's do it for utility. I think if it's utility, it's a package. It's override. Oh, actually, utility is not a package. Python nahi hai. So that's why I got an error. Nothing is created because utility is not the package. So all the code is under the source. That's why you see here. Airflow is a package, but it is the DAGs. It's a Python code. No, it's again not. So just मेरा main code है SRC में. So SRC can create the package. On contrary, you can, if you want to create only for one package, a driver program, you can also create it for driver program. जैसे कि यहाँ पे मैंने single program के लिए generate करना है source, and I have Goodreads driver. just creating for single program. Is that the correct one? No, it's not created it for this. The reason is it created the class diagram. No, it does not have any classes. Okay, fine. But we created on this SRC. Okay, so this helps us to understand the code and gives us the flow of our code. Okay, that's a benefit we have using this class diagram and PyReverse. So any other question?
Hello. Sir,
Yes.
so is it available whenever we are trying to fetch a diagram for the good readers driver, so it is not able to generate the diagram for it. So is it like that whenever there is a existence of class, then and then only it will create?
Yeah, correct. Correct. So it try to scan your code and generate a diagram out of that. तो जब भी आप पाई रिवर्स रन करोगे, wherever it's possible for it to create a diagram and calling is happening, there only it will able to create a diagram.
So class is required there. Class or module should be there.
Yes, yes. Package or
Okay.
module and the classes should be there in order to create the packages and classes.png.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Because that's what UML is, right? It's basically graphical representation of the classes and packages. Okay, so you learn one more concept. Before we proceed, I also want to introduce one more concept, uh, which is very important when you do your code. And that is, let me open my previous project. The code coverage. Okay. Again, this is very important. Code coverage क्या होता है? Have you learned about TDD, test driven development? Have you learned about anything that?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. आपको सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियरिंग में नहीं था टेस्ट ड्रिवन डेवलपमेंट? सो उसका मतलब क्या है? ओके, वो टेस्ट ड्रिवन डेवलपमेंट क्यों जरूरी है? आपने कोड लिखा, सो सपोज आपको किसी ने बताया कि आई वांट टू राइट अ कोड फॉर मी टू कनेक्ट टू एडब्ल्यूएस. ओके, लेट्स से ये एग्जांपल ही ले लो. ये एग्जांपल किसी ने बताया कि ये ऐसा कोड लिखो जहां पे आप वॉल्ट से क्रेडेंशियल कनेक्ट करते हो एंड when you connect, authenticate to it and get a token and use that token to get a secret from the vault. ऐसे बताया. ठीक है, आपने कोड लिखा, but the code you have written is फुल प्रूफ, डिफेक्ट नहीं है उसमें, कुछ बग नहीं है, कैसे पता चलेगा आपको? सो व्हेन यू राइट योर कोड, डेवलप द कोड सच वे दैट कि आपको टेस्टिंग करने की जरूरत नहीं है. So developer only, because tester आपका code समझ नहीं पाता, because if you write thousands of lines of code, tester will not understand the code. If you go and try to test the functionality, उसको बहुत time लगेगा. So rather test driven development में क्या होता है, when you develop you test your code. How do you test your code? By simulating something. You don't pass actual values, you don't pass actual values to it, but अगर ये मेरे suppose let's go down, right? ये मेरे वेरिएबल्स है, मैं मेन क्लास कॉल कर रहा हूँ एंड दीज आर माय वेरिएबल्स, एंड उसमें से रन नाम का मेथड कॉल कर रहा हूँ. अगर किसी ने ये व्हाट हैपन इफ आई मिस द वॉल्ट यूआरएल, मैंने वॉल्ट सब पास किया बट वॉल्ट यूआरएल नहीं डाला, तो क्या होगा? कैन एनीबॉडी टेल व्हाट विल हैपन?
It won't connect.
ओके, इट वोंट कनेक्ट. सो मतलब ये वॉल्ट क्लाइंट है, यहाँ पे वॉल्ट यूआरएल नहीं है, तो वॉल्ट क्लाइंट क्रिएट नहीं होगा. बराबर? यस.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
अगर वॉल्ट क्लाइंट क्रिएट नहीं होगा तो टोकन मिलेगा क्या?
No, sir.
No.
नो. सो इट विल फेल हियर ओनली. करेक्ट? or or suppose someone passed inside this multiple URL pass कर दिया, multi और या फिर wrong रोल आईडी पास किया, या रॉन्ग सीक्रेट आईडी पास किया, या रॉन्ग पाथ पास किया, या तो फिर पाथ में जस्ट नंबर पास किया. रीजन जो है यूएस ईस्ट वन, इंस्टेड दे पास कुछ रीजन ही नहीं, कुछ गार्बेज वैल्यू पास किया, नल वैल्यू पास किया, तो क्या होगा? राइट, इट मींस इट विल फेल हियर. अगर यहाँ पे फेल हुआ, इज इट ट्राइंग टू कैप्चर द एक्सेप्शन? वो एक्सेप्शन कैप्चर कर रहा है या नहीं कर रहा है? सो आई हैव अ ट्राई कैच ब्लॉक. अगर एरर आता है तो इट विल जस्ट एरर ऑकर व्हाइल ड्यूरिंग एक्सेप्शन, an error occur during the exception, or exception print होगा. So it is not capturing any specific exception, but जो भी exception आएगा it is getting printed here. Correct? अगर उसके बाद में यहाँ पे आता है then it is printing something else condition में जा रहा है. Correct? So but still it is not telling me what is happening. So test driven development में क्या होता है? I write a test cases, okay, and test my code based on those test cases. तो let's say कैसे करते हैं? इसके लिए आपके कोड में एक फोल्डर क्रिएट किया जाता है टेस्ट नाम का. टेस्ट और या टेस्ट एनीथिंग, यू क्रिएट योर फोल्डर. ओके, नाउ there is a path. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I think I got disconnected. Let me know where you got disconnected. आपको स्क्रीन दिखाई दे रही है?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
नॉट श्योर डिस्कनेक्ट कहाँ पे हुआ था?
So पाई टेस्ट के टाइम पे.
ओके, okay. I'll pause the video because just to save the bandwidth. ओके, सो हमने पाई टेस्ट रन किया, यहाँ तक थे आप? पाई टेस्ट रन किया, पाई टेस्ट ने मुझे क्या बोला कि देर आर नो टेस्ट रन, आपने कुछ टेस्ट लिखे ही नहीं है, तो स्कैन करने की जरूरत नहीं है. ओके, there are no test cases on my code. So let's write the first test case here. And for here, I'll just copy this. And I'm not going to create a test cases out of this. I'll ask ChatGPT or someone to create a test case for me. And you can also do the same thing. Don't need to write. So what I asked ChatGPT to write, what I said, I said created test cases, write a test coverage for following code, and I just pasted the code, and it gave me the test coverages. So this is the test main py file हमें बनानी है. So I copy this code and going into. So generally आप जिस भी कोड का टेस्ट कवरेज बनाते हैं, so you need to write the name, same name or similar name with the prefix of test. And it's a name of main class. Okay. Okay. I said test job runner because ये कोड का मैंने टेस्ट कवरेज बनाना चाहता हूँ. So I wrote here. Now you will notice here there are other models being called, which is unit test mock. So you are mocking here, right? And magic mock is the another class you inherit from that package. So ये क्या करता है? You're first mocking the vault client. Vault client नाम का मेथड है. You can see this. इसमें vault client नाम का मेथड आप कॉल कर रहे हैं और क्लास कॉल कर रहे हैं. This is the one. And you also have a get secret, authentication, app role. All these things are you're calling. So it is listing down is mock vault client, mock AWS connector, mock run method. जितने भी मेथड है उसको मॉक कर रहा है. एंड ईच मेथड हैज आर्ग्यूमेंट्स, उसके कुछ आर्ग्यूमेंट्स है. सो इट इज पासिंग दोज आर्ग्यूमेंट्स एंड मॉकिंग इट. सो योर सोर्स में and I'll choose this one main class. Just test this method only. Save this, okay? And anything else is missing? Okay, there is the error here. Utils not model utils. Okay, I'll proceed with this, saying that it failed because I just want to do the code coverages, which is important. Um, तो ये मैंने टेस्ट केस लिखा, ये फेल हो रहा है because there is issue in calling this package. Now assume that this is a issue. Okay, there is an error in your code and there is an issue. Let's now see मेरा कोड कवरेज कितना है, मैंने मेरा कोड कितना टेस्ट किया है. That's what we want to see. In order to get that, there are the modules which we need to, I have added this document. So we need to install the PyTest coverage. So we need to run pip install PyTest coverage. Coverage naam ka package hai, so which we need to install. So I think it is already there. If not, I'll start to install it. Okay. It is already satisfying. PyTest or coverage already hai. उसके बाद I'll run the PyTest with coverage, and if I run this, it will create some code coverage to it. After that, I want to generate the coverage report, and that coverage report will be generated. So you'll see that it will create, it will show me in my module I have these many code. ये Python code है. इसमें ये मुझे क्या बताता है कि in this code how many statement I have. So I have 15 statement in AWS util, और Snow util में मेरे 40 statement है. 24 statement है. Out of this 24 statement, how much is the code coverage? So 0% code coverage. For what util, how much code coverage I have? 0% code coverage. And ये report मुझे HTML में चाहिए. So I'll say coverage, give me the report in HTML format. So I run it and it generates in HTML format under the HTML COV folder on in the repository. I'll go here and open the code. I'll open the index.file. ये मुझे क्या बोल रहे हैं यहाँ पे, मैंने 43 लाइंस का कोड लिखा, बट 43 लाइंस इज मिसिंग फॉर कोड कवरेज। ओके, मतलब मैंने ये टेस्ट केसेस नहीं लिखे ये कोड के लिए, एंड दैट्स व्हाई इट्स फेलिंग। इफ आई सी नाउ, it will tell me, oh, this is the one method where it is not covered. These are the lines where it is not covered. This is the exceptions, and all the places it is not covered. So wherever, if it's covered, in that case, it will say that, yeah, this code is already covered. So let's go and do some coverage on the code. So here I'll just need to modify. If this works, import module is not allowing me. Let me go and write one single just AWS utility के लिए coverage बनाते हैं, not just for all. Just for this code, we'll get a code coverage. Code was that. In the collecting the test AWS utility, no model utils. Still we see
Sir, in line number 9, so we need to
Sorry,
change the
can you?
line number 9. Wait,
Yeah, no,
dash
but it is,
5.
yeah, it is filling on line number 5 itself. यहाँ पे फेल हो रहा है, इसके आगे नहीं जा रहा है, लाइन नंबर 9 पे नहीं जा रहा है वो. It is filling in the module itself, right? You can see that line number 5 पे ही fill हो रहा है. Import नहीं हो रहा है. This module is not able to import. Okay. It's still filling on line number 5 only. Utils module नहीं मिल रहा है उसको. It's a test module package have valid Python names. That module does not have a valid. Actually, why it's missing? But type, if I see here, right click, and if I say go to definition, okay, declaration or definition here. As tests are not successful, that's why we are not able to get it further. यहीं पे वो fail हो रहा है, right? I go to utils and go to definition of this. I'm able to get the definition here, right? Uh, VS Code में it's able to identify, but when it runs in a compile, that's where it's causing an issue.
Oh, hello, sir.
Yep.
Sir, from Vault Util, you are importing AWS connector. But I think in AWS Utils, there is AWS connector, no?
No, anyways, ये कहाँ पे भी हो, so even if I write, इसके आगे नहीं जा रहा है वो, right? ये vault util है ना, whether it's a vault util or AWS util, even if I say AWS util, it will not able to import it. PyTest, you can see that no module utils ही नहीं मिल रहा है उसको. That's a problem. which is different issue, not related to package. Okay, utils and test have it in same directory, which we all same level. So which we have test and utils, right, at the same level. Then
In test, there is no init file, no? So is it necessary?
init file test
Inside
main
test.
new file. Okay. Yeah. So now you can see that okay, it proceeded. It was not considering this class. So we could here now go to 3 session your code. I think I'll just remove this. Okay. And try to do the PyTest again. It failed on which the client to be called error in assert error है client. But at least we have one test case passed, test cases failed. Okay. So what it is trying to do, कहाँ पे failed है? ये जो मेथड है assert client जो बनाता है वहां पे failed है and it is making the call fail, but it's fine for right now. What I want to do, check the code coverage now. So I'm generating the coverage and coverage report. And want to get it now. Still okay. Good. And I have an HTML format. अब यहाँ पे देख पा रहे हो जो AWS util है जो हमने जिसके लिए कोड कवरेज बनाया, all the 15 lines are covered. There are no missing lines here. Okay, 100% कोड कवरेज है. So हमने जो कोड लिखा है वो हमने टेस्ट किया एंड इट इज ओवरऑल कोड हमारा एक्स 121 लाइन्स है. आउट ऑफ दैट 12% हमारा कोड कवरेज. And I'm just going to open and here जो 15 lines थे, if I go here, so you can see that it is covered. यहाँ पे green है. How I know that this is covered? Because ये create session, create AWS client, ये जो method है ये test हो चुकी है. How do I know ये test हो चुकी है? If I go my code on a test, you can see that I have made the mock of those. Okay. कौन से मेथड थे हमारे? There were two methods to it. Create AWS client AWS Connect. You can see that AWS client is the S3, and we are making the instantiate of AWS session and AWS client connection. These are the two methods we are using from AWS connector, instantiate of that object, and we are calling this method, and we are using magic mock instantiate मॉकिंग. तो हम यहाँ पे जो इस ये मेथड का ये जो क्लास है, एडब्ल्यूएस कनेक्टर क्लास, ये क्लास के पैरामीटर्स है. कौन कौन से थे? एक्सेस की, सीक्रेट की, रीजन एंड क्लाइंट, दिस वेर द पैरामीटर्स. तो हमने मॉक किया. सो दैट्स व्हाई विद द मॉक मेथड वी मॉक्ड इट एंड वी आर कॉलिंग दैट वन. वी आर क्रिएटिंग अ सेशन. जो AWS कनेक्टर में सेशन मेथड है. हाउ डू आई नो दिस? इफ आई गो टू AWS method here, utils. In this utility, I have the class AWS connector class, and within that I have a method create session. ये create session में जो session variable बना रहे थे हम लोग और session method था, उसके ये पैरामीटर थे. तो I just need to do the magic mocking of this. And now in my code, I can do valid mocking and invalid mocking, both also. Valid, invalid, ये क्या हुआ? टेस्ट AWS कनेक्शन इनिशियलाइजर और एक क्लाइंट, AWS क्लाइंट टेस्ट कर रहा हूं मैं. Now this is I'm doing for valid one. Now say if I pass the invalid information, what is going to happen? That also I can write it. Just give me a minute. I have a very good PowerPoint which explain the TDD. I'll bring that so that you know what exactly this code coverage, how it works, and uh, how do we write the test cases there. ये आपको समझ में आया या डिफिकल्ट लग रहा है थोड़ा? I just want to know the honest opinion from you. Both the concept, the code coverage, test cases, and the third thing is जो UML diagram बनाया. Any comments?
सर यूएमएल डायग्राम का तो समझ में आया, लेकिन एक
हम्म
टेस्ट कवरेज का यूज क्या है वो समझ में नहीं आ रहा. मतलब टेस्ट हो रहा है कोड, लेकिन उसका यूज क्या हो रहा है वो समझ में नहीं.
Good, good.
सर व्हाट इज द यूज ऑफ दैट कोड कवरेज, मतलब हम क्यों करते हैं?
हाँ, वही मैं एक्सप्लेन कर रहा हूँ. आई हैव वन PPT. उसमें बेसिक एग्जांपल दिए, एंड आई एक्सप्लेन.
Sir, is it compulsory or it is a good practice to do this
Oh,
coverage?
that's a really good question. Whether it's a compulsory or it's a good practice. That's really a good question to ask. और इसका यूज आई मीन व्हाई डू द कोड कवरेज नहीं किया तो क्या होगा और रियल प्रोजेक्ट में कहाँ पे यूज होता है उस अगर नहीं किया तो क्या प्रॉब्लम आता है राइट आई विल जस्ट क्विकली टेल दैट टू यू I'm just opening one thing. Maybe I think it's this. Okay. Just a minute, I'm searching the PPT which I want to show you. Okay, I'm almost there. Joining from other machine 884 1825 minutes. Okay. Now Okay, I'm just going to stop the screen share and use another one, another screen. Let me know once you're able to see the screen. Okay, are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, this is my class. Okay. ये मेरा ओरिजिनल क्लास है, उसका नाम है बुक एंड इट हैज एट्रीब्यूट. तो बुक का टाइटल, बुक का ऑथर, पेजेस, प्राइस एंड डिस्काउंट, ये मेरे एट्रीब्यूट्स है. ओके, मतलब पैरामीटर है क्लास में. तो यहां तक समझ में आया?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
ओके. नाउ ये क्लास के अंदर मैंने दो मेथड लिखी है. First one is get reading time and apply discount. These are the two methods I have written inside this class जिसका नाम book है. Okay. Now you know that कि हम object को multiple time instantiate करते हैं. Okay. Sorry, class. We create a multiple object by instantiating the class. Correct? मतलब हम कॉल करते हैं. कैसे कॉल करते हैं? सो क्लास नेम को इनहेरिट करते हैं और उसमें से हम लोग कुछ मेथड कॉल करना है तो मल्टीपल ऑब्जेक्ट के लिए कॉल करते हैं. सो फॉर एग्जांपल, I have a class called name book. So we say book dot get reading time, and then we pass the book name or जो भी author. These are the parameter we pass, attributes pass करते हैं. ये समझ में है? How do we call it? I think
Yes,
there
sir.
might be
Yes, sir.
one method. Like here, you can see in this example, I have a class called book. उसमें हमने कुछ attributes है. So it has attribute like title, author, pages, price and discounts. These are the attributes. तो यहाँ पे हमने जब उसको assign किया, I mean just declaring those attributes. उसके अंदर methods है. Get reading time is one method and apply discount is another method. These are the two method. तो पहले टेस्ट करने के लिए हम लोग क्या करते हैं? I think there is one more. Okay, I think this not only to consider these two. Okay. अगर मुझे ये कॉल करना है, okay, if I need to pass the or if I need to use this, let's use this in actual code. आपको actual code use करके बताता हूँ. It's not able to skip. Okay, I'll copy this code. I'm creating the file. Okay, simple. Now I want to call this. So call करने के लिए मैं लिखूंगा, let's say reading time चाहिए मुझे. एक क्लास है डॉट, इसमें से मेथड मुझे कॉल करना है.
So your calling method has an apply discount instead of get reading time.
Instantiate it. Just give me a minute. Keyword pages. I think I just need to class call करना पड़ेगा. Just give me a minute.
So if you are not passing keyword
Plus,
argument and just pages,
sorry.
so instead of passing pages is equal to 100, if you just pass 100
No,
positional
let me
argument.
first get the of that instance. ये जो बुक नाम का क्लास है उसका इंस्टेंस बनाता हूँ एंड देन we'll use that instance afterwards. So first क्या है title. Okay, so यहाँ पे it should be
Sir, title spelling is wrong.
sorry
Title
Title
spelling.
क्या हुआ?
Title spelling is wrong.
Okay, title. Okay, मैंने ये instantiate किया and now I can just use this one. Book instance dot और मेथड में कॉल कर रहा हूँ apply discount और read time, get reading time. ओके, रीडिंग मैंने क्लास इंस्टेंस का ऑब्जेक्ट बनाया एंड देन इंस्टेंशिएट किया एंड वो इंस्टेंस का कॉल करा. सो आई एम नॉट calling it and so that I can call multiple times, right? Just method call करूंगा, arguments यहाँ से उठाएगा and just save this and run. Okay, reading time क्या है? 150 minutes, correct? ये कैसे किया उसने? सेम पैरामीटर, ये एट्रीब्यूट्स है, राइट? एंड आई कैन यूज दिस फॉर मल्टीपल टाइम्स लाइक ऑथर, और ये चेंज करूंगा तो इट विल गिव मी मल्टीपल इंफॉर्मेशन. ओके, तो मुझे बार बार क्लास इंस्टेंशिएट करने की जरूरत नहीं. जब भी मेथड कॉल करूंगा ये ऑलरेडी इंस्टेंस बन चुका है ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ दैट क्लास एंड आई विल जस्ट यूज द मेथड टू इट. Similarly, if I have to do for discount, I already have instantiated the class, so I just need to call the method book discount, suppose. ओके, अगर मैं बुक डिस्काउंट प्रिंट करता हूँ तो मुझे उसका डिस्काउंट भी मिल जाएगा। एंड दिस इज द बेस्ट वे टू राइट अ कोड। You instantiate the class, create an object. So 9 minus $900, I don't know how, but 100% दिया है। Let me 10% करता हूँ उसको। Okay, 90 is the discount. 10% डिस्काउंट देने के बाद 100 प्राइस है, 90 rupees प्राइस होता है। So that's what it is printing here. So this is my code. Okay, अभी इसका टेस्ट कैसे बनाना है? So I want, what if suppose अगर ये प्राइस, अगर ये किसी ने डिस्काउंट माइनस डाला तो क्या होगा? दिस इज माय वन टेस्ट केस. If someone put discount, what if someone put the price to 0? What will happen? ओके, ये टेस्ट केसेस है, मेरा कोड वो हैंडल कर पाएगा या नहीं? से लेट्स से आई हैव दिस वन 0 प्राइस, ओके, एंड आई रन माय कोड. What happened? It shows price as 0. What if I say -1? Price is -1. What's going to happen? It's going to give me minus, जो भी माइनस में है. What if I pass the character value here? Price की वैल्यू कैरेक्टर की है, क्या होगा? It gives me an error. Okay? यहाँ पे समझ में आया, ये एरर दिया उसने. So I'm testing my code. Does my code is able to handle uh, these scenarios or not? तो मैं ये टेस्ट करता हूँ, इसके लिए मुझे टेस्ट केसेस लिखते हैं. So I go here and I wrote my test packages. Now see what is happening here. So I'll go here and let me put it under the test. टेस्ट फोल्डर बनाया एंड टेस्ट फोल्डर के अंदर टेस्ट बुक डॉट फाइल एंड आई रोट हियर. मैंने क्लास बनाया टेस्ट बुक नाम का. उसमें क्या कर रहा हूं मैं? आई एम पासिंग ऑफ कोर्स द बुक नेम, ऑथर नेम एंड प्राइस एंड डिस्काउंट. ये पास किया फॉर बुक 1, ये बुक 2 के लिए पास किया, एंड it is giving me a reading time and everything in minute. ओके, अगर मैंने नल डिस्काउंट पास किया, ये वैलिड है, ये टेस्ट केस वैलिड है, ये वैलिड है राइट, क्योंकि मैं वैलिड इंफॉर्मेशन पास कर रहा हूं. ये डिस्काउंट भी वैलिड है. मैं ये मेथड जो है रीडिंग रीडिंग वाला जो है, सॉरी फर्स्ट केस में रीडिंग टाइम चेक कर रहा हूं. कैन यू see this? I'm calling the method reading time. Correct? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
तो कहाँ से कॉल कर रहा हूँ? बुक नाम का पैकेज है. So this is my book नाम का पैकेज है. Assume that it's a package and from there it is being called. Okay? और उसमें से ये मेथड बना रहा हूं मैं रीडिंग टाइम, और उसको आर्ग्यूमेंट पास कर रहा हूँ, वैलिड चेक कर रहा हूँ कि बराबर है या नहीं. दिस इज माय वैलिड स्टेटमेंट, वैलिड वे टू टेस्ट इट. अगेन दिस इज आल्सो अ वैलिड वे टू टेस्ट. व्हाट इज इनवैलिड वे टू टेस्ट इट? अगर मैंने निगेटिव डाला, डिस्काउंट नल डाला तो क्या होगा? ओके, डिस्काउंट अप्लाई होगा या नहीं, एंड मैं यूनिट टेस्ट कर रहा हूँ. सो आई एम गोइंग टू रन दिस. What happened? Line
The
number
third
50.
method.
Oh. The book is invalid, so I need to import this. It's outside. For the sake of simplicity, I'll just put it here. Okay. It is giving error price A. Okay. May has conquer now. I'm just going to comment this because it's also calling that one. Okay. File test. Oh, this is the different system, and that's why the PyScript test was not there. Okay, you can see that the model name.
तो अंदर क्लास
Let me check that it's not able to
सर क्लास नेम इज कैपिटल बी ना
import.
हेलो
Yes,
सर क्लास नेम इज बुक कैपिटल बी
yeah, yeah. This is the capital one. Book, and this is the small one. Book one. Okay. Fail three. I test.
बड़ा बुक
Last name is
सर
Book.
फ्रॉम बुक हेलो
Yep.
सर इट शुड बी फ्रॉम बुक इंपोर्ट बुक कैपिटल बी
From Book. This is the class for Book. Just let me run this. No, Book is. I think we need to get it. Model import करना पड़ेगा. Let me see. Get it import from the way we did it for the other one. Even though these are in the same file, is it right? Yeah. I just try to put it into the same one. maybe name too small book just to get a test book. Book. This is correct. Okay, so that is two cases passed, one failed, and one failed because of this, where it was trying to get a none type instead of integer, and which is the valid case. So you can see that ये टेस्ट केस में मैंने क्या लिखा, अगर नल पास होता है तो इट फेल्स, मेरा कोड फेल होता है, तो मेरा कोड फेल नहीं होना चाहिए. अगर नन पास होता है तो कोड शुड नॉट फेल. सो आई शुड, when I do my code for this book, I should check the parameters also. So my parameter should not be none or null. So that is the coverage I should have on top of my code. So that's a benefit of having this. जैसे यहाँ पे ये टेस्ट केस में मैंने लिखा कि टेस्ट डिस्काउंट null discount. Similarly, I can have same information टेस्ट केस, नया एक टेस्ट केस लिख रहा हूं मैं. Each is the new method, and instead test reading time. अगर नल है, रीडिंग टाइम नल है, और पेजेस जो है अगर नल मैंने पास किया. सो इफ आई गो दिस, it's a book 3, and book 3 आपने डिस्काउंट की जगह पे रीडिंग टाइम, एंड रीडिंग टाइम ये मैंने नल की जगह पे 0.1 लिखा. एंड आई थिंक रीडिंग टाइम कैलकुलेट करने के लिए पेजेस है, राइट? दिस कंफर्म है. The pages is third argument. Pages मेरा third argument है, which is this one. Pages मेरे 0 है. So I think it will come to 0. None type होता है. Pages पता नहीं है मुझे. So what will happen? Now my code will again fail. 2 test cases are failed now. Why? Because of this reason. ये रीडिंग टाइम है नल, ये टेस्ट केस है मेरा, विच इज दिस वन. यहाँ पे मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि टाइप एरर क्या है, अनसपोर्टेड ऑपरेंड. मैंने अनसपोर्टेड ऑपरेंड भेजा जहाँ पे इंटीजर चाहिए था और फ्लोट चाहिए था, फ्लोट की जगह पे नन आया है. सो माय कोड इज नॉट डिजाइंड और डेवलप्ड to handle the corner case scenarios. अगर null पास किया तो मेरा कोड फेल होगा. Okay. Now what is the remedy of this? So मतलब ये नहीं होना चाहिए, इसके लिए क्या? So I should have a to condition to accommodate this. अगर किसी ने null पास किया डेटा टाइप, या तो फिर पास नहीं किया, so it should automatically capture an exception, and that is your test driven development. So you're testing also, and then you're modifying your code. Like again, you're writing test case here. So these are the two test case जहाँ पे ये है. Suppose someone pass is as a character. Okay, someone passed its character. What happened? So see, so it should not be also a character one. See, again, it's a failed one. So I should have a proper messages or method or exception handling should be there in my method. Based on that, मैं इसको modify करूँगा. What I'll do, I'll check in this method, I'll check whether it's maybe try catch लूंगा मैं. अगर any exception आता है, so throw an exception. Don't stop there. ये केस में क्या होगा? इमेजिन अगर ये प्रोडक्शन है तो कोड फेल हो जाएगा, आपका जॉब टर्मिनेट हो जाएगा. जॉब क्यों टर्मिनेट हुआ पता नहीं. देन कहीं पे तो ये मैसेज आएगा एक्चुअल कोड में. तो यूल सारे कौन सा मैसेज मैं पास कर रहा हूँ, क्या पास कर रहा हूँ, कौन सा वैल्यू. सो इट विल नॉट बी इजी टू डिबग. सो इफ यू write an exception, you can say, oh, this failed because of this reason. That's how you can code your code so that it is robust and handle the test cases. Now, आपने एक सवाल पूछा था, why to do this? Why to write a test case? The first thing is to improve your code quality. Okay, you improve your code quality. अगर मैंने ये नहीं लिखा तो कौन देखने वाला है? That's true, कोई नहीं देखेगा. But in CI/CD pipeline there are code scanners. तो कोड स्कैनर्स रहता है. सोनार क्यूब इज वन टाइप ऑफ कोड स्कैनर. तो उसमें रूल्स डिफाइन किए रहता है. रूल क्या डिफाइन किया रहता है? आपका कोड शुड बी एटलीस्ट 80% और 90% कवर्ड होना चाहिए. अगर आपका कोड 80 और 90% कवर्ड नहीं है, ओके, देन योर कोड विल नॉट बी डिप्लॉयड टू प्रोडक्शन. तो आप लिख के लो. बहुत सारे लोग क्या करते हैं कि कोड डेवलप करते हैं, जब प्रोडक्शन में पुश करने का टाइम आता है एंड व्हेन इट गोज थ्रू CI/CD पाइपलाइन, कोड स्कैनर पिक्चर में आता है. कोड स्कैनर बोलता है तुम्हारा कोड कवरेज तो खाली 10% है, आई विल नॉट पुश द कोड टू प्रोडक्शन. सो आप फिर वापस जाते हैं, फिर टेस्ट केसेस लिखते हैं, कोड फिक्स करते हैं, देन whenever the code coverage becomes 100%, then you push the code. So nowadays, because of CI/CD or automation होने की वजह से, it's not easy to cheat the system. You have to do that. इसीलिए मैंने ये important था, इसलिए ये लिया कि अब जो भी कोड लिखोगे, ऐसा नहीं कि मैंने लिख दिया, काम कर रहा है, चल रहा है, तो प्रोडक्शन में जाएगा. ये नहीं होता कभी. There is a testing, automated testing in CI/CD happen, which checks your code coverage, which makes sure you have the valid exceptions, and then if that is your code is covered, then and then your code get pushed to production. Otherwise, production में नहीं जाता. तो कभी कभी ये बोलते हैं कि असली प्रोजेक्ट जब आप कोड डिप्लॉय करते हैं तब चालू होता है, बिकॉज दैट्स वेयर यू स्टार्ट एनकाउंटरिंग द इश्यूज. ये अरे मेरा कोड तो पुश हो नहीं रहा प्रोडक्शन में. क्यों नहीं हो रहा है? बिकॉज आपके कोड कवर्ड नहीं है, सारे टेस्ट केसेस कवर्ड नहीं कर रहा है. जैसे कि ये टेस्ट केस था, नल पास किया तो क्या होगा? यू रोट योर कोड, यू टेस्टेड, यू पास द करेक्ट वैल्यू. डेवलपर कभी भी हैप्पी सिनेरियो के लिए कोड करता है हमेशा. सो दैट्स व्हाई टेस्टर इज नीडेड. हैप्पी सिनेरियो मतलब हाँ, ही विल एक्सपेक्ट कि डिस्काउंट पास होगा, ही विल एक्सपेक्ट कि पेजेस पास होंगे. देखो ये चल रहा है मेरा कोड, वेल एंड गुड. बट रियल वर्ल्ड में ऐसे कभी नहीं होता. कभी कभी जीरो, कभी माइनस, कभी कुछ. तो डज योर कोड इज कैपेबल ऑफ हैंडलिंग दैट और नॉट? सो start doing it, developing your code and testing during the development phase itself. And that is why it is called TDD, test driven development. जब आप डेवलप कर रहे हो, you develop keeping the point of view of tester, and then you modify, then you develop, you modify, develop, and then you release the code. So आपका effort बहुत सही होता है. So I just want to highlight this very two important concept, the code coverage, test cases, and UML is just for your understanding कि code understand कैसे करता है. Do you have any other question on these two topics?
Hello.
Yes.
So sir, after testing, we will handle those exceptions. Like
Mm-hmm.
here, we will handle the none exception or the null value for that
Correct.
particular.
Correct.
Then there may be a for the string type, it will be again there will be some another exception type. So how can we handle so many exceptions in one code?
Mm-hmm. So that's why in the previous example where I showed, you covered, so there can be multiple scenarios. जैसे कि null है, ये method के null है, right? Let's go back to this. This is my own original class, and उसके अंदर method थे, right? So of course, there can be this minutes or pages can be null, this discount can be null, or price can be null, or none, or something character like that. So your question is?
My question is, there will be so many exceptions. Means for the none,
So
it will
many
be types of exceptions.
test
Like
cases type
yes,
of
yes.
thing.
हाँ.
Correct, correct. तो no, आप बताओ मुझे वो केस में क्या होगा? Are you going to code for every exception, or you will consolidate into one?
Generally, I will consolidate it into one, like a base exception
Correct.
class is there. So I will
Yeah.
go for that.
So कैसे करोगे? जैसे मैं यहाँ पे लिखूंगा try. Okay. Okay. I'll say try this, and if we get an exception out of this, then throw an exception, or so when you try, create an exception. Okay. And here you can write print. Invalid argument passed. That's what you can write it here. So even though in your if it's failed here, okay, let's see. Can you see now it failed 1 and passed 3. Why?
Because we have written exception for the discount price.
Correct, correct. Because वो टेस्ट केस कवर्ड हो गया हमारा, पहले कवर्ड नहीं था. सो अगेन आई विल राइट इट, बिकॉज रीडिंग के लिए हमने नहीं लिखा. सो आई नीड टू ट्राई इट, and I'll okay. So when you do the development, you do like this: except, exception. Again, I'm just writing a generic exception, but there are ways where you can write a specific, create a custom exceptions, or so you are covered here. So आपका code fail नहीं होगा. It will throw an exception, gracefully exit होगा, but it's not like unknown, right? So all the 4 test cases are passed, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
anything happen here, whatever, you are generalizing it. But if you want to go more specific, you can also write specific conditions as well.
Actually, sir, that was my question. If you want to go specific for the null value or the string value, then we have to define nested exception will be there. So is
Correct,
it like
correct.
that? So is it like that we have to define in that way? Like in the specific exception, should we have to define, or the just generalized exception will be okay for it? Means it will be a
That's a good.
passing of.
Mhm. That's a good question. Like it is जैसे अभी आपको each and every specific exception लिखना है या generalized exception is okay. That's the thing. Now, how do I know? मुझे तो यहाँ पे exception मिला. Okay, I can, even though I'm trying this and it failed, and that's why it went to exception. But before it going to an exception, I can write a condition. If discount price is something this, then write uh, something, right? I can have a custom messages also wherever required. I can do that. Or now, who will decide that whether we should have each message or not? It is lead or a QA person. Let's say QA person say, "अरे ये तो खाली मुझे ये बता रहा है कि invalid argument passed." But कौन सा argument invalid है? How do I know? If they want to know, then you will have to code such a way that each of the values you should capture and see if there is आपको उसको पार्स करना पड़ेगा. Make sure that there is a non-none value pass. And जनरली इतना डिटेल अगर आप कोड लिखोगे तो प्रॉब्लम क्या होता है, कोड विल टेक लॉट ऑफ टाइम इन एग्जीक्यूशन because you are adding more code, and more code takes more time to compile and then check your code and execute it. So uh, that is one reason where we can generalize the exception instead of specialize the exception.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. But that is a valid question. You can ask this valid question to your lead and asking, should I go with the generalized exception or the specific exception? And if you ask this type of questions to your lead, तो वो भी सोचेगा, अरे हाँ, that's a right question. It means that this resource knows lot of things. कि generalized exception या specific exception कब लिखना है, कैसे लिखना है. And you can tell them कि अरे मैं ये लिखता हूँ तो मैं code coverage simultaneously should I start the TDD or not. If you say this, wonderful, it tells that you know this concept. And even interview में आप जब जाओगे, so mention specifically this कि you did a test driven development. Just stop there. Just say I was responsible, I was a developer, and following the standard, when I used to develop the code, I use a TDD, and stop there. Next question 101% लिख लो, वो पूछेगा what is TDD, right? Then you can tell it's a test-driven development. I used to write test cases, used to test my code using PyTest. And believe me, अगर आपने ये बताया, so your 50% chances of selection is done. 50% chances of selection is done. मैं बॉन्ड पेपर पे लिख के दे सकता हूँ ये, because you're showing that you have a real experience. Second thing, you're showing that you know the standard and best practices to write the code. On top of that, you know how to use those. So many people doesn't know and doesn't, and then you can, on top of that, if you mention that it is very important, next question वो यही पूछेगा कि okay, now you know TDD or test case or code coverage. Why you should write that? What is the purpose of that? Then you can say that we do that, we handle the corner case scenarios. We test it while in the development process itself, so that when it goes in test, we don't get a bug. Very important thing is that if there are code scanners in CI/CD pipeline, and the code scanners say that your code should be 80% coverage, so your code will be already covered and it will be easy to deploy the code. So वो toll gate जो है वहां से pass हो जाएगा. Your code quality will be checked on the code coverage. So if you say this in interview, डन. वो आगे के जवाब आपने नहीं भी दिया, गलत भी दिया, एकदम बेसिक सवाल का जवाब भी आपने गलत दिया, व्हाट इज पाइथन पूछा और आपको पता नहीं, तो भी आपका सिलेक्शन हो सकता है, बिकॉज यू डेमोन्स्ट्रेटेड द अदर थिंग्स विच आर वेरी नेसेसरी. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yep. I think we'll stop here and just practice these two things. I'll share the details around configuring these two things. I'll push this code to the Git repository so that you can practice. And tomorrow, I think there were some 4 action items from last one. We'll continue on that, and we'll continue on the project. So by end of this month, in the last week, we'll wrap up most of the things. Okay. And let me know, is this something which is interesting or boring है या समझ में नहीं आया?
It was very interesting. We learned new things we didn't know.
Great, great. And these are the things which you will use in a real project. So I'm pretty coding generally syntax. No one asks the syntax to you. Maybe beginning में कुछ बंदे रहते हैं जो syntax पूछेंगे, but if you know the processes in actually how the project and quality of the project is to be maintained, if you know these things, very good. Okay. We'll stop here, and thanks for patience. We'll continue, keep the interest in learning and try exploring. Group discussion करो. नहीं समझ में आया तो एक दूसरे को पूछो. That way, you will share the knowledge and gain a lot of things.
Hello.
Yep.
Sir, that pyreverse thing I was trying to do that, but it was showing me that graphics was not installed. So I installed that things. Still, it is again showing the same error.
Okay.
So what will be the
Okay.
problem, sir?
So install. Sorry, let me share my screen. If that happens, GraphViz is not there. So you need to add it into the environment variable. Let me know once you are able to see the screen.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
If you see the environment variables, and here in the path variable, I think it's a system variable or user variable. No, sorry, a system variable. Just add this one. जहां पे आपने GraphViz इंस्टॉल किया है वहां में bin तक का जो path है, add it into the environment variable.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Try it. If still doesn't work, then I'll debug with you.
Okay, sir.
Okay. And you can ping me on WhatsApp if you face any other issues.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Take care. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
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 Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.